Once again, the Dallas Cowboys choke a golden opportunity to take the lead in the NFC East division. It's a close game. Everything I said that the Cowboys needed to do for the most part to win this game, they did. But when you fumble the ball inside your own 20, when the quarterback is overthrowing receivers, when your wide receivers are just dropping passes that they should be making, it's hard to win football games. I got to give a shout out to Brian Schottenheimer. I think Brian Schottenheimer honestly called a good game. I was going to say great, but the last couple drives, I think he did. Brian was a little bit too pass happy in my opinion. He should have ran more. He should have been more balanced. You can't put, Brian, you've learned your first lesson. You cannot put the game in Dak Prescott's hands because he's going to choke every single time. Every single time. At least 80 to 90+% of the time, Dak's going to choke. And we saw it again. And now, in his defense, CeeDee Lamb dropped 3 passes. I don't know what CeeDee Lamb was thinking, but honestly, Dak threw some good balls to CeeDee Lamb, and he should have caught him. Dak threw a good pass down the field to CeeDee Lamb that was right in his hands, and he dropped it. He also threw a pass that hit him like straight in the helmet. CeeDee, you got to make that catch, bud. You are one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. You can't be going out there and dropping passes like that, CeeDee. You cannot do that, brother. But in terms of staying balanced, I thought Schottenheimer for the first half of the game did a good job. The second half of the game, he didn't do as good of a job. And a lot of this goes back to Dak. Dak has not changed as a quarterback. Now, Dak didn't have a horrible game. Dak played a very good first half, but his second half was honestly not great. And while Dak didn't turn over the ball, there was a lot of passes that he threw that almost were interceptions. There's at least 2 or 3 balls that could have been picked in this game that Dak threw. And the reason why the Eagles won this game and the Cowboys didn't is because the Eagles got a better quarterback. Jalen Hurts had a great game, and Jalen Hurts he just doesn't choke the way that Dak chokes. Dak honestly is just a choker, fan nation, Cowboys nation. We saw it tonight. He's just not as good of a quarterback as Jalen Hurts. It's just a fact. Now, people will try and blame the defense, and I get that. Defense did not play good the first half. They played absolutely terrible the first half, but this is against a very good Philadelphia Eagles offense, and they kind of played about what I expected. But the defense came to play in the second half, fan nation, Cowboys nation. They only gave up 3 points. When your defense only gives up 3 points in the second half, you should win. And the offense just didn't get it done. Dak Prescott in particular didn't get it done. CeeDee Lamb didn't get it done. CeeDee Lamb, it dropped 3 passes, like 3 passes that he was wide open. Dak Prescott made the throws. He made the throws, and CeeDee Lamb didn't make the plays. But despite that, Dak still, at times, man, made some really bad throws. And this is against the Philadelphia Eagles secondary that's not as good as what it once was. And this is why I don't trust Dak. I don't think Dak is a bad quarterback. But he's just not good enough, fan nation. Dak is not good enough to win us anything, really. Like, he's not a bad quarterback. He's a fine starter. You give him enough help, he can put up some numbers. But when you go out there and you miss wide open receivers, not all of it's on him. CeeDee Lamb definitely dropped some passes. But when you miss wide open receivers, you cannot go out there and do some of the stuff that Dak was doing. And honestly, even though Schottenheimer, I feel like, called a decent game, I do like Schottenheimer. I'll admit that. It was too pass happy for my taste. The Cowboys, while we were losing, we were only down by 4 points. And Schottenheimer was just way too pass happy. And hopefully he learns this as a lesson that you cannot trust Dak Prescott in the big moments because he just can't get it done. You got to rely on your run game to set up Dak for success. That's how you win with Dak. You run the football and rely on him to feed off the run. That's when Dak does his best. He does not do good when he has to go out there and win the game with his arm. And Schottenheimer hopefully learned that lesson here tonight. I thought Kenny Clark had a decent game. Marshawn Kneeland had a good game. We got some pressure on the Eagles there towards the end, but overall the Cowboys played a good game. I feel like, the reason why the Eagles won is they have a better quarterback, and They just have a better quarterback. They have a better team on offense than we do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think defensively that they're that great. I just think the Eagles have a better offense. They have a better quarterback than the Cowboys do, and it's that simple. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, once again, we choked, as always. CeeDee Lamb choked. He should have caught that pass. He should have caught multiple passes, really. And Dak, man, he just had some really bad throws in the second half. He played so good the first half, and then he just played terrible the second half. And we abandoned the run. And I know we were losing, but we were only losing by 4 points. There's no excuses for Brian Schottenheimer to abandon the run like he did towards the end of the game there. The Cowboys should have stuck with being balanced. They should have stuck with running the ball. And hopefully Brian Schottenheimer, learns that. I do think Schotty did a good job of keeping this team disciplined. Yeah, we had some dumb penalties, but overall, I think Schotty did a good job there. And then on top of it, the turnover battle, man. We lost the turnover battle. Javonte Williams, you can't fumble the ball, man, inside the 20-yard line. That's a big, that was the difference of the game. The difference of the game was Miles Sanders fumbling the football inside the 20, Dak Prescott just not being clutch, and CeeDee Lamb dropping those passes. That was the biggest difference. And, we lost, but at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. But I liked some of the things I saw from this football team, and hopefully we can do a little bit better next week when we play the Giants, is all I got to say. But definitely disappointing. Dak once again choked. CeeDee Lamb not making clutch plays when he needs to. Us going past happy in the second half. The defense showing up in the second half, doing their job, but the offense not doing a dang thing once again. Dak, this is why I say I'm not a Dak Prescott fan, because Dak, while he did make some good throws and CeeDee Lamb did just drop them, that's fair. He had opportunities to do it again, and he couldn't do it. He made some bad throws. He overthrew CeeDee Lamb on that last throw. Like, why are we throwing the ball way down the field? Why don't we just take short yardage situations? And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So hopefully Brian Schottenheimer takes this as a learning lesson, because it's just not good, man. We're already last place in the division. We're 0-1. We lost to a division rival. That being said, there's a lot of good things I saw out there tonight. But at the end of the day, I kind of knew it would end this way, because it's Dak. Dak's just not clutch. He's a choker. And this team in general, not just Dak, but this team in general, they just choke under pressure. They just can't get it done. But Brian Schottenheimer, for the most part, I think he called a decent game. The second half was just not good play calls, I feel like, towards the end there. And I feel like these guys were ready. They just can't handle they just can't handle it until they prove to me that they can handle it, especially Dak. They're chokers. They got talent. It's clear this team can win games, but they're just chokers. I like Javonte Williams. I think he's a legit running back. CeeDee Lamb statistically had a good game, but he dropped 3 balls. But it is what it is, Fan Nation. That's just how I feel about it. So, Brandon Aubrey did good. He had 2 nice field goals. But, till this team proves to me they can get it done, especially Dak, in the prime time, I just don't trust them. They got a lot of talent. They can win games, but when they're close against the good teams like the Eagles, they can't get it done. It is what it is. So, same old Cowboys, man, when it comes to choking. So, that's all I got to say. Peace.